Hey everyone, it's Caitlin. Welcome to another video. This video is going to be another one of my breakfast chats. So if you want to grab a meal and eat along with me while I chat about things, go ahead and do so right now. So today, okay, I'm gonna be honest. So technically this is my lunch, but it's still like breakfast themed. And I really like calling these breakfast chats, so I'm just gonna still title it as a breakfast chat. But yeah, I just woke up this morning and it was raining and I needed to study, so I just decided to do it during lunch instead. But I have a tofu mousse kind of thing. I've seen people post on Instagram of like whipping fruit with silken tofu to make like a kind of smoothie bowl, and I've always just been really curious about it. It's not like I don't like normal smoothie bowls, but I just really wanted to try it. So I made a mango and ginger one, and I blended half a block of tofu. You can see it, yeah. I blended half a block of tofu with about a cup of frozen mango, and I added some fresh ginger, and that's about it. It blended to this like smooth, really smooth and like silky texture, and it's super creamy from the tofu, so I'm really excited to eat it. Also, it's a lot smaller than my oatmeal bowls, so for all those who are commenting that I never finish my breakfast, maybe I'll finish it this time. And I just topped it with some like cute little banana things shaped like flowers because I caved to the trend and I bought mini cookie cutters. And then I topped it with this mix thing. It's like superfoods, raspberry, baobab clusters with apple pieces and pumpkin seeds. I'll just show you. Oh, you can't see because of the glare. Well, you can kind of see, right? Like there. Yeah, good job, Caitlin. But yeah, I just topped it with that, and I didn't put all of them on because there was enough for the picture, but I'm just gonna top it with the rest of them and then mix it all in. Okay, so today's topic is going to be being cheap. And I don't really like the word cheap because I feel like it kind of has a negative connotation, but then I feel like thrifty doesn't really describe what I'm trying to talk about, so I'm just gonna say cheap. And I guess I'm going to preface this with just a disclaimer that I know that I do lead a privileged life in comparison to a lot of other people on this planet, because I've been blessed to be born into that situation. So I don't want to offend anyone by talking about like being cheap if you can't afford like basic necessities as food, water, like a roof over your head. But I feel like the majority of people who watch my channel are in the same kind of situation as me, so I wanted to talk about it. But I mean, it's the internet, I'm probably going to offend someone, but I just wanted to say that. It's like, I'm not actually trying to offend you. Okay. So this talk was actually inspired. It's really good, guys. You gotta try it out. I basically said the recipe, but if you really want me to like write it out, let me know in the comments below and I'll respond to your comment. But anyways, okay. This talk or chat was inspired by one of my favorite podcasts. It's by Hannah McNeely and Evan. I don't know her last name, but Hannah is Ellen's sister and Go Island Mama. She also has a YouTube channel on here. She's hilarious. You guys should all subscribe to her YouTube channel. But I really like podcasts, and I knew she had a podcast, so I've been checking it out, and they don't post episodes too often, but all of the ones that they post are really, really good. So it's kind of like a treat whenever they do post. But I guess about a week and a half to 2 weeks ago, it was actually just over Thanksgiving. They posted an episode about the founder of 31 Bits, which is this like ethical jewelry company, which originally started in a place in Africa. And I feel so bad saying that because I should know. And they talked about how people just group all of Africa together and just call it like one big continent. But in my defense, I'm really bad at geography, and I probably couldn't label, you know what, I'm just not gonna go there. Anyways, I'm just really bad at geography and I apologize. I think, yeah, it was a place in Africa, and then they recently expanded out to Bali. But But the main talk wasn't just like promoting the jewelry company, although it was really fascinating to learn about it. They kind of like delved into the aspect of supporting small businesses and supporting ethical companies, and like the fast fashion industry and things like that. But they also talked about like investing your money in small businesses, even though like the products can be more expensive. And I thought the whole talk was really, really good. Like all the points he made are really valid. Hopefully I don't like repeat any of them in here, but you guys should totally check the podcast out and listen to it. I think it's around an hour and a half, but you can easily like break it up into segments if you don't want to listen to it all at once. But it really inspired me, and I kind of wanted to talk like about, I guess, my personal experience with like spending money and stuff with you guys. So here we are. But I guess I definitely grew up in a middle-class family, but I wouldn't say I was upper middle class. We were probably more lower middle class. We didn't have like a lot of extra free like money that we would spend on extraneous things, but it also could have been because my parents decided to spend their money on other things. Like I went to private school for my education, which is a lot more expensive. But I feel like growing up, I always kind of felt like I didn't have as much money as other kids, just because a lot of other kids had like the fancy new clothing, or like, I don't know if you guys remember when everyone had to have a monkey shirt from Aeropostale, and my mom was like, no, they're too expensive, I'm not gonna buy you one. So I had some like knockoff monkey one from Macy's. Let me know if you guys were ever in that phase. But so it was like things like that. So I just didn't always have like the shiniest new toy or stuff, and it's like my family didn't spend as much money on me as some of my friends. And I think for like a while I definitely didn't have like my mind in the right place, but I thought like in order to be cool in school and for people to like me, I had to have cool clothes. So I think that like kind of did upset me, and it got to the point where like in high school I was more like obsessed, I guess, with fashion, and I would buy things from stores, but I also would never pay full price. Like I wanted things from American Eagle and like Aeropostale and Abercrombie and Fitch. Ugh. Anyways, I wanted things from those stores just because like I thought that's what the cool kids had, but I couldn't afford the regular price stuff, so I'd always just like shop their clearance section. But I mean, I still got some, I guess, cute things for like teenage fashion. I don't know. But I wanted to share that with you guys because I think like growing up, I've come from a family who is more thrifty, and we do try to be smarter with our money. I'm not saying we like don't have money, but I don't know, like it wasn't very common for us to like go out to eat every week like some of my friends did, or like, oh, I just want a new shirt, let me go to the mall and buy one. It's more like, oh, you have a hole in your shirt, it's time to buy a new one. But I totally respect that, and like I love my parents, they've supported me in so many ways. I'm definitely not complaining, but I think I've like kind of taken the money saving thing, and I am a person who likes to save things. Like I have a problem, I'm kind of a hoarder with like childhood trinkets and everything, but I just realized I'm still doing a horrible job at eating. But like I always would save things, and money applied to that as well. Like if I could get the best deal on something, I totally would. And like, I don't know, if you guys are college students, like whenever they offer free food, like that's when all the kids go to the event. Like I was definitely that kid. If there's free food, I was there because I'm like, hey, I don't have to pay for something. Or if like I had a free coupon for something and it's on sale, I'd be like, oh, this is amazing, best day of my life, it's on sale and I had a coupon. And my mom used to say that all the time. So also my mom watches my videos, so hi mom. But so I'm not saying that mentality is wrong, because like, especially because a lot of us are on college student budgets, and or just like lower budgets in general. You're trying to save money for a nice trip, or just because you need to save money. I think like sometimes it can be taken too much to an extreme. So like for me, I'll catch myself and I'm like, oh, I don't want to spend money on, I don't know, like this nicer, just using 31 bits for example. Like they use this in their talk. They're like, oh, you can spend a little bit more money on a product that was ethically made and it's helping support people directly. Or you could spend like $5 on a necklace from Forever 21 that may only last you a few months, that was made in like factory conditions. And I totally think that's true, and I think that like spending more money on things is something that kind of holds a lot of us back. Like, I would totally agree. Like when I was in high school, when I was a teenager, I would shop at Forever 21 because I couldn't like afford anything else. Like in the beginning of high school, I didn't even really have a job. Like I would just save my birthday money or like money from my grandparents visited me. So I couldn't afford like a $50 necklace or whatever. But now that I'm older, and I'm also at the age where I want to include more like timeless pieces in my wardrobe. Like I personally don't go shopping every season. Like I buy things that I know that I'm going to want to wear for the rest of my life or until they theoretically break. So I feel like my mindset has kind of shifted, and I don't mind investing money into products. But at the same time, I'll be the first to admit, like, I do try to shop ethically, but sometimes it gets really, really frustrating because, for example, if you're comparing a shirt from Forever 21, let's say it's between like, probably between like $15 and $25. But if you wanted like a shirt that was cute and ethically made and like eco-friendly, it's probably gonna run like upwards of $30 to $50 if we're being honest. And I feel like clothing is a little bit harder for ethically made things because I feel like they haven't branched as much into that. But like talking about jewelry or like making sure your yoga clothes don't like come from a Nike factory, I think that it's harder. No, it's like, it's definitely frustrating when you're like, I just want a pair of sneakers that will work for me. Like, I don't really care how pretty they look, I'm just gonna run in them. And then it's like, okay, well, I don't care that much. Like, can I just pay $20 for these ones at Walmart? Or it's like, you really should think about like where your actions, like how you're voting with your dollar. Because I know people use that phrase all the time with veganism. They're like, oh, you vote with your dollar. When you go to a supermarket and you buy a vegan option, it's making a statement. And that's totally true. But it's also true with like, not only supporting ethical businesses, but supporting smaller brands and like people who are business entrepreneurs. Like a lot of people out on YouTube have ebooks to support themselves. This is a perfect example. So like for me, I'll admit, like, I have an ebook. I am honored that you guys like it, and after I've put a lot of work into it, I sort of understand like the importance of supporting smaller businesses and other people. Because I think for a lot of us, we're like, oh, like I want as many free things as I can. It's very common in our society and our culture nowadays, but you really have to think about like who you're supporting when you support people. Like, yeah, you can spend $5 on something, or you can spend $20 on something that's going to like directly affect a person or like a content creator. And I think that's a big problem with YouTube too. Like a lot of people put out essentially free content for you guys. Like we do make some money through AdSense or whatever. But I also think like people might be less inclined to buy their ebooks just because they're so used to getting things for free from them. And I think that some people are totally not like this. So I'm not saying that all people are like this, because I have friends who don't mind supporting like people who they follow on Instagram or YouTube. But like for me, before I personally started doing it, I would be like, oh, I'm not paying for their ebook. Like I just want the free stuff because I'm all about getting as many free things as I can get. But now that I'm on the other side of things, I'm like, oh, it's really important to support them. And if you want this person's recipes, don't try to like illegally download it online. Why can't you just pay the like $5 to $15 to support them and to show them like, hey, I appreciate what you're doing, and I realize you put months and months of work into this usually. But I don't know. If you guys have like a similar experience, definitely let me know in the comments below, because I think for me it is hard sometimes to like know that I'm going to be investing a lot of money into things. And like like when I first joined the like Instagram or social media community, I would support people, and like some of my friends would be like, oh, I just came up with an ebook, and I would, like, people would comment and be like, oh my gosh, that's so cool, but like how many of those people actually buy it? Like, are we just putting up a facade saying that we are supporting our friends, but then when it comes to actually monetarily supporting them, are we not? And I don't know, I think that's something to think about. And the like more that I'm on social media and I realize that a lot of people are entrepreneurs and they have to make money, like how important it is to support people, especially if they're your friends. And like, I don't know if they're running a small business. Like, I've purchased several ebooks from people who I look up to, and if they put out a product that I genuinely think I would be interested in and I would like to read, I buy it because I think it's awesome to support them. And like, I've mentioned High Carb Hannah on here a few times. Like, I love promoting her recipe books because one, I think that they're great, and two, like, I'm happy to support someone else who's doing something that they're genuinely passionate about. And I think that kind of like goes in line with paying more for ethical clothing, like especially around Christmas time. I think this is something to keep in mind. Like, when you're buying Christmas gifts for people, like, sure, you can buy them a really cheap thing from Target that they're never going to use, or Forever 21 that'll break in a few years, or you could buy them like a really, really thoughtful gift, or buy them a recipe book if they like to cook, or like check out 31 Bits, or like another ethical smaller business, or like Etsy shops. A lot of people have Etsy shops, like supporting those people as well. Because like, not only are you making your friends happy and giving them a gift that like actually has meaning, but you're also like supporting someone else and getting good karma points back. Does that make sense? I don't know, I feel like I'm more rambling in this one, but yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? Like, would you classify yourself as a cheap person? Like, I really hate the word cheap because I feel like it does have a negative connotation, but I will say, like, if I'm being honest, I would say I'm a cheap person. Like, I think a lot of people think that YouTubers have a lot of money or something because it's like, oh, they don't have a 40-hour work week job and they can afford to just make videos. And there definitely are people on YouTube who are really well off and probably don't need to have a job anyways because their family supports them or whatever. But I also think there are a lot of people who aren't like that, like especially people who are students. Like, I'm gonna be real with you guys, I have student debt. Like, I'm in grad school. Grad school is expensive, so I'm a thrifty person. Like, if I can get a deal, I'm gonna get a deal, and I just need to save money. Like, it comes down to that. And I totally think that, yeah, sometimes you can't afford to buy a more expensive or like artistically made product because maybe you're in a similar situation as me. In that instance, I still wouldn't buy something from Target or Forever 21. Like, I choose to make my gifts for my friends because I feel like they're more meaningful that way too. Or like, I will invest and spend a little bit more money. But yeah, I have student debt, and like, even when it comes to groceries, like, I buy things that are on sale. Like, if I need, I'm not very particular to brands. Like, if I need a new thing of peanut butter, I buy the cheapest one, and like stuff like that. And I'll go grocery shopping sometimes and I'm like, okay, well, I wanted that, but I'm not paying $9 for a watermelon, and then I don't get it. I don't know. I think it's all about a balance and deciding what you do want to spend your money on and like what businesses you want to support. Your own personal finances. Like, obviously not everyone can afford to buy all organic local food and support like local farmers, but honestly, I don't do that either. Like, I don't buy 100% organic food. Like, a lot of times I go to Aldi, which is like more of a discounted grocery store, but I do buy organic in certain things, and I do buy organic when I can, and I just try to be more conscious about it. And it like genuinely makes me happy. I don't know, because I do have a larger Instagram account, I like work with some smaller brands and stuff, and it generally makes me happy to support these brands because I can tell that they're people that are like passionate about doing their things and following their dreams. And like, I don't know, I do love supporting smaller businesses, and I think like at the end of the day, it's like, it's totally worth it for me. Like, sure, there are some instances where I'll wish, I don't know, I actually can't come up with a good example. I'm running out of examples today, guys. I'm sorry. My brain is like kind of fried from all the school stress that I'm in right now. But basically what I wanted to say is, or ask you guys, like, do you think there is such a thing as being too cheap and like only focusing on getting the best deal possible when realistically you are voting with your dollar and you could support someone who is a small business owner and trying to make their own versus like doing the conventional like a desk job 40-hour work week thing? Like, I definitely think that it is appropriate to spend more money on certain things, especially when you know like where it's coming from. Especially if you're a vegan and you're watching my channel, like, we're all about the ethical treatment of animals, but we definitely need to consider the ethical treatment of other humans as well. Like, everything you buy is attached to a person. Someone made that print on your shirt from Forever 21. Someone like harvested your groceries. Like, every single person has a job. Like, people have jobs to get you the items that you buy at the store, but I feel like just as people just see like a chicken breast and they don't see the actual chicken, sometimes we see a shirt and we don't see like the people in the sweatshops who are making that shirt, and we don't really make the mental connection. So I kind of wanted to make this video to talk about that and to say that, like, although I do come from a background of trying to save more money, I think I slowly am realizing that like I want to invest in people and businesses that I am proud to support. And I don't want to support like the fast fashion industry or other things going on like in that similar scope, even if it is cheaper. So yeah, I think that's where I'm at. Where are you guys at? And on that note, I definitely want to try to make like a Christmas gift ideas like list or YouTube video or something, just because I feel like it is helpful for a lot of people just have like a list of ethical brands or smaller businesses to support. So I'm gonna try to get around to that. If I don't have it posted like the week after this video goes up, you guys need to start harassing me, because I do think it would be important, and 'tis the season. But yeah, once again, I didn't eat like any of my breakfast and I just talked for like 20 minutes. Maybe one day I will finish. The good news is this was cold to begin with and it's still cold, so I don't have to worry about that. But definitely check out Earth to Us. It's just Earth space to space us, the podcast. It's super awesome. They have a lot of really helpful things on there. And my camera's about to die. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. I'm sorry this is such an abrupt ending. Bye!